Clue Scroll Speedrunning. For those of you dickheads who don't find the game challenging enough, I present to you a new distraction and diversion part of the game, which I've recently thought up. I call this Old School Runescape Clue Scroll Speedrunning. I know, very creative, right? Now, you might be thinking, Clue Scroll Speedrunning isn't a new thing. Come on, James, you're an idiot. People have been doing different types of speedrunning all over Old School Runescape for a long time. And to that I say, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, you've got quest speedrunning, you've got a dedicated world for quest speedrunning, you've got people who do new account to max speedrunning that takes months on end, and funnily enough, there are types of content specifically for Clue Scroll speedrunning, but nothing official. The criteria that I've come up with for Clue Scroll speedrunning is very simple. You need one of each clue, beginning from beginner all the way up to master. So that means you need exactly a beginner clue, easy clue, medium clue, hard, elite, and a master clue, all 6 of them, to qualify for my version of Clue Scroll speedrunning. Now with that, there are only 2 fundamental rules that you are required to follow to be able to qualify your time in this speedrun category. Rule number 1, before your run begins, you must, this is an absolute must, you must right click your clue, check it, and with every clue, your chat box needs to show and indicate that you are on step 0 of that clue. This stops people from preemptively doing the clue earlier, and being closer to the casket, your clue step must be on 0. Rule number 2, everyone must start on the exact same tile. In this case, I've decided to make the lumbridge spawn point the exact starting tile so everyone starts together, and then you can create your own route from there. To complete the speedrun, your run must be recorded in its entirety, showing each step and each casket being obtained, with the run coming to a finish only after you obtain your 6th and final casket. Outside of those 2 mandatory rules, you as a runner have creative control to route your speedrun using whatever gear, whatever teleports, whatever equipment, and whatever any other things within your control. As long as those 2 rules are followed, complete the run however bloody hell you want. Now if you think Clue Scroll speedrunning sounds like a bit of you, I've devised what I believe to be the 4 fundamental concepts required to be able to speedrun efficiently. Number 1, that's your game knowledge. Number 2 is going to be your character progression. Number 3 is your stash units, and then number 4 is your RNG. Right, let's start with number 1, game knowledge. Now with game knowledge, I could dissect everything about game knowledge in a video longer than 20 minutes. And that's only on its own, but for this Clue Scroll speedrunning introduction video, I'm only going to talk about the 2 major necessary fundamental game knowledge steps required for Clue Scroll speedrunning. Now number 1 is your clue step location, i.e. if you're at point A, where do you need to go to get to point B? And then number 2 are your teleport methods. Now you need to know where point B is, and when you've identified that, how do you get to point B in the fastest way possible? Oh, I can just go there. I probably shouldn't be going there with all my gear, especially all this, but given that it's not past 30, I'm pretty sure, I'm just going to do it. Frox. I probably should be in a total level world, so I don't have this dickhead coming after me, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. What's the worst that can happen? Right, I'm like, oh no, go away. I'm on my last step. Leave me alone. No, please leave me alone. I'm pretty sure I've only got 1 more step. And then that's the end of, it'll be a master casket. No, oh, don't spite me because I'm a bloody skull. Leave me alone, you mother. Go. No. Oh my god, that's my master clue. You asshole, you absolute prick. You dickhead. At least I didn't lose my fang, but what a prick. What's the worst that can happen? Figuring out how to get from point A to point B in the fastest way possible becomes a skill in itself, especially when time is of the essence for the goal of speedrunning. Other game knowledge steps not mentioned, which I may go into in other videos, can include items required to gain access to specific steps. An example, ecto tokens for Dragon Tooth Island. You need to be aware of wilderness clue steps, NPC clue boss fights and how to fight them. My hint is the ancient wizard trio for the master steps will sit you on your ass if you aren't prepared for them. You need to be aware of your run energy, your inventory space awareness. I could go on for a lot more, but there's so many different things you need to be aware of for game knowledge. Number 2 is character development. This is simply how far has your character progressed through the game, and are there any steps not immediately completable because it is locked behind things such as a skill level that you don't have, a game area which you have not unlocked yet, a diary requirement which you haven't finished, and even an item you need to obtain that you don't have immediate access to. To complete clue scroll speedrunning efficiently, you need to be able to complete all steps and not be hindered by some steps you're not able to complete. Stash units are your next necessity for clue scroll speedrunning. Stash unit stands for store things and stuff here, and basically said is a little storage box close to a clue location that holds the needed items for the clue. I'm not going to go into details about how to make these because that isn't part of this guide, but Google stash units OSRS and that will give you enough info to start. Stash units are relevant for clue scroll speedrunning because you need as many, if not all, stash units set up all over the game of OSRS to save time rather than going to a bank, withdrawing the items, going to the clue spot, completing the clue, and putting the items back into your bank. Currently, I believe I have about 90% of the stash units set up, with the only ones missing are the ones with very expensive items like a Zamarok Godsword or a Bryophytes staff placed into them, because I can't currently justify having an excess of 10 mil sitting in a single stash unit. But I know that when I want to break the best records moving forward, there will eventually be a necessity. Here is just a live example of using a stash unit in a live run. 1.5 minutes, just give me something solid here. Just over a minute. Best master steps ever. Don't think so. No, especially when it's that one. The last thing to speak about is random number generator, more commonly known as RNG. RNG plays a huge role in clue scroll speedrunning. The two major points I've found where RNG will either be a decider of a good run or an absolute killer of a beast of a run come down to the amount of clue steps in a single clue, the location of a clue. These two steps, you mother pieces of run killers, you mother dickhead. Now that I've got that off my chest, if you get these two clues, you can be ready to call your speedrun goodnight, because those arsehole steps take so much of your precious runtime and can turn many other 30-second steps into about a 5-minute step for those ones alone. You do not want those two steps, and I can guarantee there are other arsehole steps out there. On the other hand of RNG, you can have the clue gods present you with a one-step beginner casket, maybe an elite set of Follow the Bard, Sherlock and Hot and Cold clues, or puzzle boxes rather than light boxes, but either way, runs can and are determined by your RNG. So like I said in my farming guide, if you have shit RNG, the best advice I can give you is just stop having shit RNG. The last thing I want to talk about, which separates this category of speedrun from almost every other speedrun category out there, including outside of OSRS, is preparation time. In any other speedrun game, including almost all runs shown on Games Done Quick, when a run is determined to not be fast enough, a runner can simply restart the run. You cannot do this with clue scroll speedrunning, because that requires obtaining all 6 clues again, right from step 0 all over again, and that can take a tremendous amount of time. As it currently sits, I'm usually only managing one run about every 2 days, and for that reason you need RNG gods on your side even more. That's going to wrap up my concept of clue scroll speedrunning. I will be posting my fastest run in its entirety, likely the day after this video is posted. As of the creation of this video, my fastest run is sitting at 25 minutes and 9 seconds. When that video is posted, I will link it in the description. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate a like, a comment, and even a subscription. And if you take this challenge on, I'd love to see other competitors in the speedrun category. Let me know how you go. Thanks for watching. Shelf it out.